All right, we're going to move on to step 2, and step 2 is always going to be to solve the equation using basic algebra. Now you want to get into the habit of always writing down the equation. I've already done that. It's VO2, this is the walking equation, is equal to zero point 0.1 times speed in meters per minute plus 1.8 times speed in meters per minute times the grade plus 3.5. Now that's your resting component. 3.5 is your resting VO2 in milliliters per kilogram per minute. Now we're going to plug in the numbers that we know. 0.1 times speed, which was 80.4, which we figured out earlier. And then we're also going to plug it in again right here for speed. And then we have a grade. Now he wants to walk at a 6% grade. You always want to make sure you put this in a decimal form, 0.06. If you use the number 6 or 0.6, you're going to get a completely wrong answer. So make sure you use this in decimal form. So if it was at a 10% grade, it would be 0.10, 2% grade would be 0.02, and so on and so forth, plus 3.5. The next part of this is just going to be to solve. So we're just going to do some basic algebra and just remember the rules of multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. You want to make sure that you multiply things first. So we multiply here, here, and then we add all of these numbers together. And once you do that, you should get 20.2 milliliters per kilogram per minute. And this is relative VO2. We'll convert it to absolute here in a moment, but again, this is the basic step number 2. And again, always write down this equation. And another good reason to write down your equation is when you're doing a test or when you're doing an assignment and you write down the wrong equation, and I see that, and you've done everything else correctly, but you've just written down the wrong equation, you can get partial credit for that. And that happens, and I do it too. Sometimes I'll write down the running equation instead of the walking equation, or vice versa.